The film begins with a sharpshooter scene where a sniper has been waiting for her prey for quite some time, and as soon as her target appears, she takes him down with a single bullet. Later, she keeps the bullet with which she shot her target, and from here, the scene shifts. It is revealed that Levi is also a sharpshooter and has been a soldier in the army. At this time, he is called to a facility that works for a secret meat mission. While checking the Levi report in front of Levi, she looked quite impressed because Levi had made it possible to take down more than 200 targets with a single shot, meaning he had committed over 200 murders. With the help of his sniper, his aim was very precise. Now she discusses a few things and hires him for her secret mission. On the other hand, it wants to show us Drasa again, who has come to her in Russia. Drasa is different for the sake of money. She works to kill others, but afterward, she feels a lot of regret for what she has done. Every year, she would bring the bullets and to her dad that she used to kill her targets, so that her sorrow would lighten a bit. But now her dad was tired of all these things. He was tired of his life, in which there was no one. He tells his daughter, Rasha, I have made a decision. If next year on the 14th of February I don't get a new life, I will take my own life on the 14th. Whether you are with me that day or not, wherever you are, just say goodbye to me. Hearing this, Rasha also becomes sad and leaves. Meanwhile, it is shown that Y was brought by helicopter at the Russia and US border, where he had to stay unequally for a year. Cutting off contact with the outside world, he descends from the helicopter and embarks on a 3-day journey to reach his destination, during which his senior K meets him. His duty had ended, and after that year, he was getting the chance to return home. He was very happy to meet his senior. He says, "You are the first person I've been able to talk to in a year." He starts telling the rules to Levi. He tells him that he has to work on the tower. This is our tower, which represents the US, and across the river west over belongs to Russia. Note, these are the borders of the US and Russia. You have to stay here and perform duty for a year without talking to anyone. Your duty, Otas, will be here. Every now and then, you have to load bullets into the machine gun. If any tracking device malfunctions, you need to fix it. And if you hear any kind of siren from below, you must run away from here very quickly, so fast that you cover a 6-kilometer distance in one breath. Surprised, Levi asks why he is saying all this, to which the senior replies, "My senior gave me these instructions. His senior gave him these instructions, and now I am giving them to you. We don't know anything more than this." Now he asks why such high security is maintained here. Hearing this, the senior stands up and picks up a bomb, then throws it down. As soon as the bomb explodes below, very strange and bizarre sounds are heard, as if something dangerous is there. The senior explains that the place between east and west over is called the Gorge. No one goes there, and it's as if dangerous creatures live inside it. Our job is to prevent them from coming to the surface world. If these creatures come up, you have to kill them with a machine gun. This is the only job of East and West. After explaining everything, this senior leaves from here. It was shown that a helicopter came to pick him up, which took some information from the senior, asked about working here, and then took him away. But not too far. Just out of Levi's sight, they cut the senior's rope, and he fell into the abyss, which clearly meant that whoever did duty here never returned home. And this was something they didn't want people to know about. Now, Levi won't be able to escape, and that innocent person doesn't know anything about this. Every scene is cut, and it wants to show us the next of Levi. He had started his work. He loaded the finished bullets into the machine gun, checked some systems here, and then fixed the tracking device. After this, he gives all the details to his headquarters and starts searching the remaining things here. Days passed by. One day, he heard the sound of a machine running in the west. He thought and looked ahead, and there was a girl whom we know is Drasa. She was also given a job at Westover to take care of health and to kill the master coming from below with the guard. Both of them were quite far from each other, but they could still contact each other. But for months, they kept wondering whether they should contact each other or not. One day it is shown that Drasa was sitting to celebrate her progress. Drasa wasn't finding anything exciting. By firing a shot, she attracted Levi towards her. When she wrote on a board to ask his name, Levi told her that it's a bit strange that telling names is not allowed here. And she wrote on the board, Levi, she says, today is mine and I will do whatever I want. I have started dancing now. You just watch me and tell me what your favorite movie is. Poor Levi didn't know how to dance, so he mentioned this. And then the king asked, then what do you know? Levi had said, I only know shooting. So she decided to test that and placed a bottle in her room, with which Levi broke it in a single shot and proved that he was indeed a very good sniper. He also has a passion for showcasing his skills. She also breaks a bottle placed in Levi's room. And as soon as they look at Levi's actions, they are suddenly taken aback because she was climbing up there. Without missing a beat, she started shooting those creatures on Levi's tower. Levi also couldn't understand what Dress was doing. When he saw the creatures coming up from below, he immediately took his position and without hesitation shot down all the creatures coming up with Dress, providing significant support. Dress was focused on Levi's tower. He didn't notice his own tower, and the master got very close to his tower. Before it could attack Dress, Levi shoots it from behind and kills it. By the time they finish the mission, it's morning, and Dress tells Levi that this was the best of her life. The two laugh and get on with their work. Now they used up the machine's bullets. They start failing again. Days pass by, and it is shown that a lot of time has passed. During this time, the friendship between Dra and Levi had grown significantly. They were there, but they spent a lot of time with each other. They played chess with each other through binoculars. They entertained each other by playing drums and also talked to each other. Before they knew it, February 14th arrived, the day Rasa's dad had decided to commit suicide. It was very difficult for Dra, and he wrote a message to Levi telling her that this day is very hard for him. Levi would start preparing on his own. He makes a gadget from the available things and decides to go over to Westover using a wire. He throws his rope to Westover using a small rocket. Dras secures it well, and before coming, Levi writes to inform her. He suggests, how about we both do it together today? Hearing this, Dras becomes quite happy, and now Levi begins his journey using the wire. He managed to go halfway due to gravity, but for the rest of the journey, he had to struggle by swinging and hanging. But finally, he was now near the draw. On the other side, Dras was standing ready to welcome him with flowers, but at this time, Levi was in quite a bad state. He had put in 2 hours of effort to get there, and he needed to freshen up. After freshening up, it is shown that both sit down for dinner. While having dinner, Dras finally reveals why today was so difficult for her. She explains that her dad would have committed suicide on this day. That's why she was very sad. To cook the rice, Levi starts telling her his background story, that his dad and grandpa were all soldiers. While talking, they start dancing and spend quite a bit of time together. Levi spent the night there, and in the morning, as he was about to leave, he hung from his wire, but accidentally the wire hit his tower's mind, and due to a bomb blast, the wire broke, and Levi fell straight into the gorge. To save Levi's life, Dra jumps in with a parachute and a gun into the area, which was filled with water. Inside this water, there was a strange blue light, and there were bizarre things everywhere. At this time, Levi was hanging upside down, and a large creature with many legs came to attack him. Levi shoots it with his gun and kills it, but in all this, the rope he was hanging from breaks, and he falls down onto another creature. As soon as Levi falls on the creature, it opens its mouth and positions its teeth in a way to stop him from moving. Before the creature could completely absorb, Levi help arrived. The coldness of the creature's spacesuit saves Levi's life. Before people could relax here, strange creatures riding on horse-like beings came to attack them. The creatures here were not in their true form. It seemed as if all these creatures were hybrids of 2 or 3 different things. The way these horses were extending strange tentacles from within them, and the humans on top looked like a mix of tree and human. Both of them take their guns to save their lives, and Tarki try to move forward by killing all the enemies that come their way. Basically, they had to return to their towers from here, but while coming down, they lost the device that pulled them up using a rope. Unwillingly, they have to move forward inside this gorge, where we see that the mist, which was previously good to yellow, strangely changes to blue, and they are shown a facility that belonged to a scientist who created the bomb for the first time. This facility also had an entire community. Rasha and Davai were shocked to see that an entire community could be destroyed like this. They felt danger all around them, so they went inside a church to escape. But even inside this church, the danger was no less. There were large spiders here with human faces instead of mouths, and they were extremely dangerous, but suddenly jumping and attacking both Levi and Drasa. Both of them shoot the spiders off themselves and manage to escape outside, entering another facility. This place seemed like a lab to them, and inside this lab they found a DVD. When they played it, it was a video of a doctor explaining the details of the experiments being conducted here. In fact, they were conducting experiments. They wanted to experiment on human DNA to turn ordinary humans into superhumans and use these superhumans in their defense system, meaning they wanted to make these superhumans into soldiers. But their experiment went wrong, which caused every kind of DNA to start merging with human DNA, resulting in various types of hybrids here. Human DNA got mixed into trees, while tree DNA got mixed into humans. Thus, no one here could exist who could talk or walk like a human, and any human could appear in a way that something unusual is emerging from them. One strange thing they mention is that their experiment had become so dangerous that organs also started developing inside them, and even the small insects and bugs here had human and tree DNA mixed within them. For instance, we saw a spider with a human face on its head. While watching the CDs and DVDs, Levi continues to investigate and finds an advanced computer here. When operating this computer, even more secrets are revealed compared to Diwali. He learns about a secret company that, along with making humans super, was conducting many other dangerous experiments. These people had also created a missile that, if targeted somewhere, could destroy an area with a radius of 6 kilometers upon impact. Reading this, he understood why his seniors were telling him to run 4 kilometers away. If a siren went off, they must have been referring to the impact of this very missile. Levi understood that this was Miss Berthon's facility, and she would always hire soldiers like Drasa and Levi to keep their dangerous experiments hidden from the world, who would closely eliminate in every master, every cricketer coming in, to keep the world away from their truth. From the things present here, they find out that neither the government, nor the Russian government, nor the US government is behind these experiments. They discover that iParth used to manage all the work here through drones, but still, not all tasks could be done by drones and robots. Tasks like changing tracking devices, loading bullets in machine guns, required humans. That's why Drasa and Levi were here. After realizing the whole truth today, they immediately try to escape from here, but at the same time, some creatures from their ad form a circle around them and place their lost bag of weapons in front of them. This could have been a trick by the monstrous, but Drasa and Levi decided to take their bag, because if they didn't have guns, how would they fight further? As soon as Drasa moves forward to grab the bag, a man traps her foot and drags her to another place, which was the red zone. Everywhere here, there was a haze of color, indicating that this place was more dangerous than before. Levi did move forward to help Drasa, but he couldn't figure out where to find Drasa. But here, we see that a creature resembling a Drasakois had hung her upside down. He was a scientist who used to work in this facility, and his name was Bisha. He injures Drasa and checks his DNA, revealing that these people were new to this place. Because a person who has been here for 5 days would turn into such strange hybrid creatures. Now, Drasa considered this creature a threat to herself, Pavan, so she freed herself. and started fighting with the creature. While fighting, Dras got hold of something here, which she repeatedly used to attack the creature, but defeating them seemed impossible. He explains that I can breathe oxygen like humans and can also take in a type of oxide. Before he could attack Dras and finish her off, Levi enters from behind, shoots at him from a distance, and then brings fire to set all his roots ablaze. They decide to go back, but getting to the other side from here was almost impossible. There was a strange web spread out in this place, made of human and plant DNA. Inside this web, there were many human organs as well as tree-like roots. It was spread out like a network. In simple language, humans and this place were interconnected. Now they had to take the risk. They enter. As they moved forward, inside the web, they somehow managed to cross it. But suddenly, Dras' foot was placed in the wrong spot. Just like that, the human-like plant gets activated and immediately attacks Dra. Before the plant could do anything to him, Levi pulls him out and burns the plant with his fire. In the red zone, they finally find a car, Wukisam Ahindi Saindisam, which was like a gift for them. They get in and drive towards the blue zone. With this car, they quickly cross the blue zone as well. After doing so, they reach the yellow zone, where the tree-like humans attack them again. Levi deals with them, while Dress finds the rope that would help them climb up. But the gadget below it, so Dra ties the rope to the jeep, so that with the help of the jeep, they can climb up. Now as they were climbing up, the creatures of Gorge were constantly after them. They were trying to kill them. Dras and Levi both fight them. They don't give up. And even while climbing up, sitting in the car, they keep shooting at them continuously. As they get tired from fighting and are very close to their destination, Levi makes a moge, very calm, move, heel. He opens the petrol tank of his jeep, causing the petrol to spill down and soak all the creatures, and as they come up, Levi sets them all on fire with his flame, and this ends here. And finally they also make it to the top. They had come to know such a big truth about the Gorge, and they were not going to be part of this family mission. Both of them decide that soon they will leave this place and go far away to start a new life. It is said that in France he has a place that no one knows about and no one has been able to find. At this time, both of them were at the Guinea West Tower. He tells the divider that he wants to be at his tower at this time and sets a time bomb there so that everything there is destroyed and no one knows anything about us. After activating this time bomb, I will pin the missile that will eliminate the target below, and all the experiments will also be finished. There will be no threat to the world from them. After making his plan, he was at the East Tower, where he is contacted upon arrival. In fact, it was discovered that their computers had been activated in the gorge below. She asks Levi if he activated those computers. Levi blatantly lies, saying, I didn't even go down there. She realized that if Levi didn't go down, then there must be a draw on the other side, and they must be somewhere. Now the reality of the gorge has been revealed. Therefore she decides that the very next day, she will have both the draw and Levi killed, because if they come into the world, they will also bring Mrs. Truth to light. The next day, it is shown that both Dras and Levi were preparing to leave from here and were tying ropes. Levi was trying to activate the bomb, and at that time, they communicate to their helicopter. As soon as Levi saw Miss, he understood that she must have come to kill him, so he immediately runs away from there, and Mrs. People start chasing him. Not just people, but her drones, helicopters, everything was now after Levi. Levi knew that he had to destroy all of this to move forward, so he slows down and takes a very big shot of his life. He was several kilometers away when he shot the device that was connected below with the missile. As soon as he shot this machine, within seconds, the missile would launch. After shooting, he runs as fast as he can. On the other hand, Levi knew his plan, so she also ran far away from there. But fate did not allow them to meet. They both survived the blast. However, Levi got caught in the fire and fell into the water, where he died. But the good thing was that the strange facility below De Gorivo was destroyed, which could have posed a threat to the world one day. It is shown that despite surviving, Dras does not return to the world for 5 days. Because she had actually come from the Gorge, they had decided that they would not go to populated areas for 5 days, as any virus that might have attacked them would only manifest after 5 days. When Dras does not change at all for 5 days, they decide to go to the populated area from there. It is often shown that Dras still remembers Levi. She had read the poetry written by Levi many times, and even today she sits and cries. The secret place in France that she had told Levi about. She had also started a job as a waiter somewhere. One day while working, Levi surprisingly appears in front of her. The way they used to communicate with each other by writing, Levi writes to her asking if I will get the rap tapmal that they were doing last time. Seeing this, in a moment of overwhelming excitement, she hugs Levi, and with this surprise and their joyful reunion, the movie ends here.